Broadcaster for the Otago University Student Association Dota League Season 1. We're currently watching Blink Dota up against Team Slithereen. This is Game 2 out of a best of 2. Blink Dota took a commanding Game 1. We're just going to quickly go, this is a remake, as Snow crashed halfway during the last draft, so they're just going to quickly go back through the picks and bans. I believe it was Slark, Invoker, Outward Destroyer, and the Knights over on the Radiant side, on the Die side, sorry, whereas the Radiant side is the Ancient Apparition, Ember Spirit, Mirana, and the Disruptor. First pick was the Visage, secondary pickup was Nature's Prophet, whereas on the Radiant side they went for the Timbersaw, Venomancer, as well as the Jakiro for the third pick. And it was Blink Dota's turn for their third pick. Last time it actually randomed over to a Bane Elemental, which actually wasn't half bad. This time we'll see what they choose to go for. For those of you that are actually having difficulty hearing my casting, I will be uploading VODs over onto YouTube. I believe I might have set the encoding settings a bit too high, so it's currently streaming at about 720p, so if your internet or computer is unable to handle that, I do apologize. I will be uploading VODs, so you'll be able to control the quality of the stream. Lycan has been picked up as the third pickup, so it looks like Blink Dota is going for that split push with that Lycanthrope pickup. Lycan with a huge buff over to his Wolves. They now have 15 HP per second regeneration. Gives them a lot more power. Lycan has been picked up a lot more in the competitive scene. One of the reasons why he's so powerful is the fact that Feral Impulse is considered to be one of the best steroid skills in the game. It gives up to 30% attack, base attack, and 30% attack speed. That's a lot of free damage coming out. As well as the fact that the Wolves effectively double the damage output as they also inherit the Feral Impulse, as well as gaining a crit with that Hell as well, as an extra 50 damage thrown out globally across the entire map. So we'll see if Lycan chooses to go for Wolf into Hell or Wolf into Feral Impulse. I have seen a few games recently in the competitive scene where Lycanthropes actually choose completely forego the Feral Impulse in favor of maxing out the Wolf and the Hell to help out the rest of the team. Hell is extremely potent in conjunction with the Visage Familiars as well as the Nature's Prophet Treants, as the creeps do inherit a small amount of damage. I believe it's about 12 or 14 damage each that they inherit. Can be a lot of damage. Lycan with Broodmother is absolutely nasty for that regard. Have picked up Slardar as their fourth pickup. Extremely powerful hero, especially with the recent buffs, as Sprint no longer costs mana and Blink Dagger no longer costs mana. So Slardar's biggest drawback, which was his low mana pool, has been completely mitigated. He can completely choose to rush that Blink Dagger, Blink in, land a Crush, as the only things he's spending his mana on is Amplified Damage to 25 mana and that Slithereen Crush, which has an 8-second cooldown and is a 2.5-second stun, one of the best stuns in the game. The only thing that prevents it from being completely overpowered is the fact that it has a very low radius, which is completely around him. So if you're able to pick up those early points of sprint, if you're able to pick up that early Blink Dagger, completely mitigates his disadvantage, turns him to a very powerful early mid-game ganker, and late-game can DPS output a lot of damage just from the fact that amplified damage strips the enemy heroes bare of their armor. Lycan has pretty low armor, although he will be going for Vladimir's Offering. And it looks like they're going for a Storm Spirit mid. Very fun here to see. I haven't seen an awful lot of them recently. Storm Spirit and Nature's Prophet have great synergy in the fact that Storm Spirit has huge initiation range with his Ball Lightning. Whoever he jumps on, Nature's Prophet can TP on in from behind, throw out that Sprout, throw out a few right clicks. Means for a great tag team combination.
10 seconds remaining.
So we've got the fifth ban coming out from the Radiant side. Looks like they're going to be banning out the secondary support for Blink Dota. And they ban out that Shadow Shaman. Great ban, as Shadow Shaman's Serpent Wards also provides another layer of push power for the Dire side. Could have also gone perhaps for the Crystal Maiden with that Arcane Aura, can provide a lot of damage.
Team pick.
And Blink Dota chooses to ban out the Queen of Pain. Excellent counter ban, as it means that Queen of Pain traditionally beats Storm Spirit mid due to her superior range, superior damage, and the fact that she has her Q. By choosing to ban out the Queen of Pain, it ensures that Storm Spirit is off to a great start, as he's easily able to go toe-to-toe or beat that Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight mid is a bit hit and miss. He can do very well just with the fact that he can Bottle Crow and spam out that Breed Fire. Once he hits level 6, he can push down all your towers, and with that recent buff to the fact that level 2 EDF no longer removes that Corrosive Skin, that Corrosive Poison, sorry, he can still continue to push towers with that level 2 EDF instead of choosing to forego it until later on to the game, or choosing to forego the AoE splash damage it provides. Fifth pick for Blink Dota, they're going to be looking to pick up their secondary support hero. They want someone that could contribute to the push as well as counteract push coming out. They're going for that Vengeful Spirit, so they need that pick-off power. Vengeful Spirit, excellent support hero, especially in conjunction with that Visage, one of my favorite combinations. As you have the Grave Shield coming out from Yoshi, the Vengeful Spirit runs up, throws out that Magic Missile, Visage now has enough damage to throw out a full charge Soul Assumption, hero is dead, nothing they can do. Vengeful Spirit also has that Hell to provide a little bit more negative armor, just as a final fuck you if they're still alive, while they right click them down. So in terms of laning, looks like we will be seeing a tri-lane with that Visage, Lycan, as well as the Vengeful Spirit. Middle lane will be that Storm Spirit played by Snow. Off lane will be Blink Z over on the Nature's Prophet. Over on the Radiant side, we've got the off lane Timbersaw will be going up against that Nature's Prophet. He'll be in for a ball of a time. He hates trees, he makes trees. I sense shenanigans. We've got Venomancer as well as Jakiro following up that Slardar. Very powerful tri-lane as you have that Gale followed up by the Ice Path, followed up by the Slithereen Crush. A lot of damage coming out. We've got a level 1 smoke brought up by Vengeful Spirit, so it looks like we'll be seeing a lot of early mid rotations. So immediately we have an offensive ward placed out by the Dire side. I believe they could have spotted that one out. Jakiro going for that level 1 Ice Path. He has picked up that Ring of Protection, so it looks like he'll be picking up. Don't mind me, just a few mic issues. Not 100% certain what's happening there. I think it could be the encoding settings, but nonetheless I'll make sure that's resolved, just in case if some of you guys can't hear me cast. And so once again we have Maddie J. Bell over in the off lane.
Begins for good and all.
Blink Z going for the boots first over the Nature's Prophet. Actually a little bit surprised by the ward placement over on the Dire side. Usually you want to place a defensive ward around... Ooh, let me just mark on the map here. As it allows, especially the boot pickup, it enables you to see the rotations coming in from the side by the support players, and with the boots you're able to mosey your way out of there before they can catch up to you and throw out their stuns. Over in the mid lane we do have Snow. He actually screwed up a little bit with the creep pull, so it's over in favor of the Dragon Knight. Looks like middle lane should be fairly simple. Snow does have a significant advantage with that Remnant. Once he picks up level 2, he'll be able to harass the hell out of Dragon Knight. Throw out that Remnant to farm. Dragon Knight already takes a bit of damage. Not too sure what he was hanging around there for. Maybe just wanted to say hi. In terms of last hits and denies, Snow is leading the board 1 for 2. Can throw out that Remnant to bully the Dragon Knight out of range. And wow, we actually have First Blood tapped over in the top lane. We have that combination I was talking about, that Grave Chill into the Magic Missile, and the right-click power coming out. Looks like Lycan actually picked up Feral Impulse at level 1. Bit surprising, I guess he wanted that extra damage to be able to help him to last hit. Level 1 Wolf is effectively useless, you only got enough mana to throw out one of them. Dragon Knight taking a lot of damage, he's choosing to go for level 1 Dragon Tail and level 1 Breathe Fire. Actually, very surprised this happens. Usually if you go into the middle lane, Dragon Knight wants to go for Breathe Fire at level 1 so you can spam him out so you can pick up your bottle. His bottle has been completely delayed right now. Snow is in a dominating lead. He has that level 2, so every time he throws out a Remnant, he can also throw out an Overload as he does right now. Dragon Knight, I think he's not too sure on how to lane against that Storm Spirit. He's taking way too much damage for free. Snow is in a commanding lead. He's been completely shut down. 3 for 0 right now. Snow is in there for 8 for 4. He's at level 3. Dragon Knight sitting at level 2.5. He will pick up his level 3 with that creep wave pushing on up. But he's having a bit of a terrible time. That early point in Dragon Blood is completely useless against that Storm Spirit, as he doesn't care about your armor. All of his damage is coming out is magical. And it's not going to save you against the Remnants. The HP regen is nice, but that's what your bottle is for. He throws out that level 1 Breathe Fire, gets the creep. But beyond that, not too much you can do. We see some excellent pulling happening over. Yoshi decides to stack the creep. No, actually, I think he screwed it up a bit. Has stacked it, so there's 2 now, so if he can get a double pull off, pulling it out. We see a few of the spectators actually disconnecting. Don't think they're too impressed with Team Slithereen, but hanging on in there. Lycanthrope is leading the way with last hits and denies. He has picked up that Quelling Blade now to supplement his farming speed. Dragon Knight only just picked up his bottle, so we'll see that bottles crow combination coming out. Snow sitting at level 2. Is going for that traditional Storm Spirit build. Looks like he's going to get a kill over on the Dragon Knight. Could have gone for a kill on the Courier, but chooses to turn around and stun him instead. The thing with Storm Spirit is you need 3 points up in your Electric Vortex in order to proc your Remnant, sorry. So you drop your Remnant, you hit them, you zip. So they take 2 procs of the Overload damage, and with the combination from the Static Remnant as well as the Overload damage should be enough to kill them. As Static Remnant has a very low cooldown of about 4 seconds. Means if you drop one, zip, Drop one, hit, zip, hit them again. You can drop another Remnant and finish them off with the follow-up damage. Looks like Dragon Knight's choosing to max out Dragon's Blood. Never do this in pubs, folks. Especially if you're in the middle lane. The reason why you're there, the reason why Dragon Knight works as a hero, especially in the middle lane, is the fact that he can spam out that Breathe Fire through Bottle Crow, and he can use that to bully heroes out of the lane. This started by Pinoy's over in Southeast Asia. He's actually considered first pick, first ban material back in Dota 1, just because of the sheer annoyance factor, the fact that they tend to have 2 flying couriers, with 1 dedicated just to the middle lane. Nature's Prophet facing a lot of the damage here.
Radiant's top tower
And looks like they're rotating the Jakiro over into the top lane. Timbersaw really can't do all too much against this Trey lane, as that Grave Chill into Magic Missile, especially with that, he's only level 1. That level 1 Whirling Death really isn't helping him out. He's been completely zoned out. Excellent play over from DDY, as well as Yoshi, recognizing that Timbersaw has low armor. Isn't anything he could really do, and until he picks up a few points of that reactive armor, and in that Timber Chain, he's actually very squishy. The best time to gank a Timbersaw is at level 1, when most likely all he has is that Whirling Death. If he does go for that reactive armor, he doesn't have any reliable means of CSing, getting completely shot down. Oh, pardon me. Over in the bottom lane, Venomancer taking a lot of damage from the tower. If a tower does start hitting you, a quick rule of thumb is to A-click a friendly unit. The tower will then draw aggro away from you and start hitting them. Snow is diving the Dragon Knight, and with that haste rune, looks like a kill. We do have Yoshi hanging around the back, and he doesn't have enough mana for Soul Assumption. And what do you know? It looks like maxing out Dragon's Blood has saved you. That extra armor means he can tank a few hits from Snow. And Snow, he's not too terribly unimpressed with that. He still has a superior level EXP lead. He's going to hit level 6. Dragon Knight has been completely shut down. And because he's chosen to max out Dragon's Blood for God knows whatever reason, he's not going to offer anything in these early fights. There are very few cases where you do want to max out Dragon's Blood. First, I believe it was Aoi 2000, about a year and a half ago, he went for a no Breathe Fire, Dragon Tail, and Dragon Blood build. The rationale behind that was they wanted Dragon Knight simply to tank tower hits and push down towers, so they needed him to get that 12 points of armor up from that Dragon Blood, and the stun was there just as a fuck you in case anyone tried to interrupt them. Very unconventional build, I do not recommend it. It only worked in that situation because they needed him to push down towers and they were able to coordinate their team. Slardar has picked up Tread, so he's off to a pretty decent start, all things considered. Getting free farm against that Nature's Prophet. Bit of ward micro happening out there. One of the things you have to be aware of as a Venomancer player is level 1 ward dies to 1 hit and feeds him about 20 gold. You do not want to do this. Only use level 1 wards for vision, and even then make sure that they're not going to be farmed by the enemy support hero, especially in the off lane. Getting a lot of gold. Vengeful Spirit gets a kill off on the Jakiro, and Nature's Prophet actually gets a kill on the Venomancer with that Wrath of Nature, sorry. A quick tip, with the Nature's Prophet is to throw out Wrath of Nature at the other end of the area that you want it to hit, so that way it'll bounce through the top and middle lane. By the time it hits the bottom lane, it's built up enough damage. As the more targets it hits, the more damage it does. Each bounce adds 7% more damage to it, so it's a bit of an opposite Chain Lightning. While Chain Lightning does less damage the more targets it hits, Wrath of Nature does more. Snow has a Invisibility Rune, and looks like he's going for the traditional build. He's got that 3 points up in that Vortex just so he could guarantee the Remnant proc, and then he's choosing to max out Overload. This is the most efficient, mana-efficient form of DPS for the Storm Spirit, as in the early game, the majority of your damage is coming out from that Overload. That's why, as a Storm Spirit player, you have to make sure that you never waste an Overload charge. You always want to make sure that you cast a spell right after you've attacked, or you've at least started the animation for that, so that you don't waste that Overload proc. Especially once you get Ball Lightning. So most likely he'll be opting for that Orchid Rush. Synergizes very well with the Storm Spirit, bit of rotation coming out. Potential gank, but the 2 support players are playing very safely. Hanging out. Looks like they've identified the defensive ward, and they counteract it. One of the things with this patch in particular is you no longer need to ward off the enemy pool, as jungle creeps give half EXP if you happen to be in EXP range. Instead, you want to place a defensive ward over there, right where the counter ward is, to get vision of the enemy support heroes for when they're rotating. That's more valuable if you're alive, rather than preventing the pull. If the pull does happen, you can hang around, leech EXP. Looks like a rotation node. DDY hesitates the last moment, gives Jakiro time to back away. The biggest drawback of the Vengeful Spirit in the tri-lane is she does have very low range for her magic missile at 500. This is why synergizes so effectively with the Visage, as Visage's Grave Chill gives her enough time to run on up, throw out that stun, ensures that they can't get away. Magic Missile does extremely high amount of damage for a single target stun. Scales very well. Storm Spirit picks up the invisibility rune, activates the invisibility rune, sorry, uses up his bubble charges, and grabs that illusion rune. Dragon Knight, being forced to the lane, has just TP'd back in. He does have EDF now, and has chosen to max out Breathe Fire, so he just needed those 2 points up in the Dragon Blood to deal with the harassment. Still not too sure about the effectiveness of his build. It did save him from a dive from Snow, so I guess it's somewhat effective, but the drawback to that is it really hinders his ability to control the lane. Points up in Dragon Blood is nice and good and all, but the whole point of Dragon Knight as a mid lane hero is the fact that you rely on Bottle Crow spam, to be able to spam out that Breathe Fire, use it to control the lane. Once you hit level 6, you drive the enemy hero out, so that get a few hits over in the tower, and especially with the buff over to EDF, so that you increases the Dragon Tower range to 400. Once you hit level 6, you're a force to be reckoned with. He has maxed out that Breathe Fire now, but it's too little too late. Snow is off to a dominating lead. In terms of last hits and denies, we have Lycanthrope leading the way at 56 for 12. Storm Spirit, and another kill happens in the top lane. I've been missing kills all over the board. The sheer amount of power coming out from this train lane is too much for the Radiant side to bear. The Gravekeeper's Chill followed up by the Magic Missile, the right-click power coming out from the Lycan. He does have his Vladimir's offering picked up now. It looks like they're going for a push. There's nothing the Timbersaw can do. He can throw out a Welling Death, but he will go down. Slardar does get a good kill off over in the Nature's Prophet. Looks like a Gale into a Sprint Crush combination. As Nature's Prophet has no real form of escape, he's been using all his mana over on Summoning Tree, so he didn't have enough to self-sprout himself. Slardar's able to walk on up, crush, and beat him down. First tower goes down to the Dire side. They do take their tower utilizing that Vladimir's offering. We'll see if they opt to go for Roshan. One of the big things with Lycanthrope, if you do want to go for Roshan, no, it turns out he's going for the Zookeeper build, so he's going for that early Necronomicon. Snow continuing to farm away. No real need for him to zip in for ganks. The tri lane is doing his job. There's no real need for rotations either. Looks like he is going for that Orchid of Malevolence. Gives Storm Spirit everything he needs, as one of the mechanics of the way there's more lightning works is it's not how much mana you have, it's rather how quickly you regenerate it. So Orchid of Malevolence giving 225% mana regeneration, synergizes perfectly. We do see the first smoke gank rotation coming out from Yoshi and DDY. We even have the next Prophet coming in, but this is the deadest Dragon Knight I've ever seen. I'm unsure why he dropped that EDF. It was a waste of his first EDF, which he could have used to harass the tower. It's a bit of a long cooldown, so not really too sure what the advantage of that was. I guess he was kind of hoping to turn around, use that EDF superior range on the Dragon Tail to stun, and then perhaps run away. But seeing 4 heroes converging in the middle lane, nothing you can do. When you're about to die, folks, and you have an ability such as that EDF, such as the Metamorph over the Terrorblade, don't waste it. You want to hold on to it. You'll be up far faster. We do have the Medallion pickup over in the Visage. This means that a Roshan attack from the Dire side is possible, especially with the fact that they have the Dire side advantage. We do have a good zip in over in the Timbersaw. Macropire is thrown out. Great combination from the Jakiro. He gets the Ice Path off. Flash is taking a lot of damage. He looks like he might be going down. Timbersaw wastes the Welling Death. Goes down to the Vengeful Spirit. Jakiro is called out. And looks like he'll be going down as well. That's the power of that Grave Shield, especially with that Medallion Courage. Excellent pickup on the Visage, as once you get your Familiars, you're outputting a lot of physical DPS. The fact that it gives you armor when you're not using it is also nice. So if you do get jumped, you don't have time to use it on anyone, that extra 7 armor can be quite handy. And the fact that when you use Grave Shield, you actually gain 64% attack speed, so you are actually hitting quite hard and quite fast. Millsy throwing out amplified damages over on the Nature's Prophet just to keep him on his toes. That's not really have any other use for his mana. And looks like we have a rotation coming out from DDY and Yoshi. There's a Haster in the bottom lane. They'll most likely be saving that over for Snow. Dragon Knight forced to jungle because he's being driven in the lane by the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit's trying to rotate over. Just going to do a quick EXP and gold check. In terms of EXP, we have an over 4,000 experience lead over on Team Blink. In terms of gold, over 7,500. This is a significant gold lead, mostly attributed to the fact that they have 7 more kills than the Radiant side. Sprout thrown out, holding in position, board lightning in from Storm Spirit. Nothing that Venomancer can do. He does get his Gale and his ult off. We do see the bird drop and that Soul Assumption. That's the power of the Visage. This is the reason why he is almost always banned or picked up. You don't want to have to deal with him on the enemy team. And that Hell doing a lot of work as well, providing a lot of extra damage for his teammates. Even level 1 Hell, 20 extra damage to every hero in the map is nothing to sneeze at. Looks like Dragon Knight utilizing his EDF is going to start burning down that tower. We'll be interested to see what item he chooses to go for. He has picked up that Treads. Traditionally, mid Dragon Knights like to go for that Drum into the Shadow Blade, as Shadow Blade offers a lot of ganking power for the Dragon Knight. You sneak up unawares, get that first hit off, get that melee range Dragon Tail, then follow up with the Fire Breath to finish them off. Provides a lot of power, very effective item. Even with the nerfs to the duration and the cooldown. Venomancer does get an excellent kill over the Vengeful Spirit. A lot of engagement happening in the bottom lane. Yoshi is going to kill that Venomancer with that medallion. Familiars pick it up. He does feed one of his familiars, but he could potentially get a kill over on Jakiro if he does get a good rock drop off, but the Venomancer ward drives them off. Very messy fight. Good fight for the Radiant side. They lose 2 for 3, ending a lot of sprees. But meanwhile, over in the top jungle, you do have the Lycanthrope farming away. Once he picks up that level 3 Necro Book, that Death Ball push is going to come out. We already have level 1, 14 minutes into the game. Jakiro has picked up his Arcane Boot, so he's free to throw out as many of his spells as he wants. He's chosen to pick up 1 point in Liquid Fire, hoping for the fact that once they do Death Ball and group up for the push, you could use that on towers. The change to Liquid Fire means that you can now toggle it whenever you want to. It's no longer wasted the next time you attack. Makes it very handy. The negative attack speed snare is also very nice. You can throw it out on the enemy carry. It's quite a significant attack speed slow. Looks like he's in for a bit of trouble. We do have Nature's Prophet TPing in. Gets that Sprout to give him the vision. Throws out the Macro Fire. But without any follow-up, looks like he's going down. We have the Bird Drop, and Vengeful Spirit gets that kill. Another underrated synergy from the Vengeful Spirit and the Lycanthrope is the fact that her Vengeance aura stacks on top of Feral Impulse, giving Lycanthrope 58% extra damage. Nothing to sneeze at, especially once you have his minions out. Looks like we've got another push happening on the top lane. Fort wasted, flashes in there tanking the tower. He doesn't really care. He has a lot of armor, he's got a lot of HP.
Radiant's top tower.
Did use his ult earlier, I believe it was either to escape or to kill. He throws out that Howl. You see that power of it. He's choosing actually to go 2 points to Feral Impulse and then choosing to max out Howl, recognizing that that Feral Impulse scales a lot better. Howl provides a lot more of immediate benefit, especially with the treants. As you can see right now, those angry trees beating down the tower. This is Timbersaw's worst nightmare. And the worst part about it is there's nothing you can do. Over in terms of a quick EXP and gold check, 5,000 EXP over in favor of Team Blink. Over 12,000 gold lead for the Dire side. This manifests itself in a lot of ways. We do have that Orc of Malevolence almost finished. We've got mech picked up on the Visage. And looks like we're going to have another Necronomicon. Vengeful Spirit is sitting around at 2,000 gold with Arcane Boots 16 minutes in. This Vengeful Spirit is loaded as fuck. Macropire forced to be blown out. Does get a kill on Jakiro, but Storm Spirit overcommits, feeds a kill to the Dragon Knight. Unsure what this first item pickup will be. Looks like they're finally going to take their first tier 1 tower of the game. Over the middle lane. However, another drawback is the fact that they don't have any kind of immediate ganking presence is Lycanthrope has free roam against the Radiant side. Outside of the Ice Path, without a Blink Dagger over the Slardar, looks like, a bit of action's happening. Sprout caught down the Nature's Prophet. Retaliatory Gale dies to the Magic Missile. Swap, bit of an unnecessary swap. Gravekeeper's Chill, followed by the Soul Assumption with that Medallion Courage and the Illusions chasing. Looks like Lycanthrope will be to damage him down. No, excellent defensive Ice Path. Keeps the Radiant team alive, and Dragon Knight is able to retreat with the covering fire provided by the Jakiro. Another one of the advantages of the Lycanthrope is the fact that his ult means that he can't be snared, so Venomancer is effectively useless against him. Jakiro's Dual Breath is useless against them. Only the Ice Path can lock him down, but with that high mobility, max movement speed, very difficult to land on the Lycanthrope. And without a max level sprint, he's only actually got 1 point in the sprint, choosing to max out the Bash instead. Not too sure how I feel about this. He's also opting to go for the Vanguard. Bit of a typical mistake. A lot of pro players go Vanguard into Blink, but they're able to get it by the 8-minute mark. Bit of action happening. Dragon Knight's called out with the Vortex and blown up. Macropire, bit of a waste. Not too much you can do there. Swap out and catching out the Jakiro. We have the Magic Missile as well as the Soul Assumption. Vengeful Spirit very low, able to dodge the Chakra, and looks like he's going to mosey his way out of there. Surprise the Grave Shield wasn't thrown out. I guess it must have been on cooldown. Timbersaw throws out his Chakra once again, driving back Snow, doing a lot of damage. That's one of the huge advantages of Timbersaw. The fact that it deals pure damage means that if you're below a certain HP threshold, if you get hit by the Chakra and hit by the retract damage, you will die. Good way to keep enemy heroes from retreating. Actually dies to the Whirling Death, underestimating the power that comes up from the Timbersaw. Feeds 300 gold over to the Timbersaw, but they do get a retaliatory kill with that Soul Assumption. Once again, we're seeing the power of Visage. going to do a quick item check on the Radiant side. Dragon Knight looks like he's going for an armlet with that Helm of Iron Will. He could go for the Helm of the Dominator, but very inefficient pickup, especially as it's a farming item. Doesn't have much farming presence at the moment. Lycanthrope at 18 minutes has a level 3 Necro Book. This is absolutely horrifying. Looks like they're going for that Roshan kill. And the Radiant team know this is going to happen. They saw the Diacide hanging around there while they killed that ward. They are aware of it. They do know the Necro Book is down, but I'm not too sure if they can really stop this. Right now, their team fight is heavily hindered by the fact that Diacide have a mechanism and the Radiant side do not. It looks like we actually have a Poor Man's Shield picked up on the Timbersaw. Very questionable pickup. Poor Man's Shield doesn't offer all too much to the Timbersaw, as he already has reactive armor. No points off from the Timber Chain. Means that Timbersaw has very limited mobility. Having those extra points of that Welling Death is fine and dandy. It did allow him to burst down the Storm Spirit. And with that Medallion Courage, Roshan goes down very quickly. Just a future note for your own games, make sure that when you do the Roshan, someone has to form a negative armor ability, or that you do pick up a Medallion. Ball Lightning in by Snow, silences the Timbersaw. Looks like Timbersaw's going to go down. Venomancer gets his ult off, but goes down immediately. Ice Path is Macropyre. Not a lot happening. Zepsen dodges most of the Macropyre damage. MPLO is called out. We have a disconnect from the Jakiro, could be a rage. Yoshi is being head on by Milsey, but is able to tank it out, and that's a complete wipe for nothing. Macropyre, the majority of the Macropyre damage was disjointed by the fact that they have the Ball Lightning. One of the drawbacks of Macropyre is if you do not have another ability to keep them in place, such as that Clockwork Cog, such as that Ice Path, into a vacuum combination with the Darkstare, there isn't all too much you can do. And it looks like they're actually calling GG, 19 minutes and 35 seconds in. Team Slithereen forfeit against Team Blink. Excellent play by Team Blink, sitting at 6 for 24. Really showcasing the power of that Lycanthrope in conjunction with that Nature's Prophet, as well as the power of the Visage and the Vengeful Spirit as the supports in the tri-lane. And looks like Blink take the series 2-0. Alrighty, my name's 49. I'll be uploading these VODs over to YouTube. Do contact me if you'd like your games to be casted, and have a great evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.